Welcome! In this video, we'll introduce you to the OneFlorida i2b2 cohort discovery tool and demonstrate how to build a simple query. Let's get started. First, we will review the 5 main panels in OneFlorida's i2b2 interface. Log into the OneFlorida i2b2 system using your GatorLink account. If you need help logging in, you'll find step-by-step instructions here. After you've logged into the i2b2 system, you'll see a screen with 5 panels. Let's take a few seconds now to get acquainted with the various panels and search options on this screen. The function that you'll probably use most often is the Navigate Terms tab located at the top left panel. This panel shows all terms available for building queries in OneFlorida's i2b2 tool and is organized in a tree-like hierarchy. We can expand the tree to explore additional branches for a targeted term. Next to the Navigate Terms tab is the Find tab, which can be used to search terms by name or code. Next, the Query Tool panel is where most of the action takes place. Here you will build your query by adding inclusion or exclusion criteria from the Terms panel. The Query tool offers different options to define your cohort. You can build a query involving multiple terms in multiple groups. You can also include time constraints, such as patient data from specific years or a range of years. Later in this video, we will show you how to build a simple query in one group. Once a query is executed, you can check its status and retrieve the results using the 3 tabs in the right lower panel. They are Show Query Status, Graph Results, and Query Report. The Previous Queries panel, located on the bottom left side of your screen, displays the history of all previous user queries. Finally, the Workplace panel is a personal directory where you can store and organize your queries for future reference. Now that you have seen the i2b2 interface, let's get started with a simple query using independent criteria groups. We are going to identify the cohort of patients with a diagnosis of diabetes mellitus. We can maximize the Terms panel to navigate the tree more easily. In the Navigate Terms panel, expand diagnoses ICD-10-CM, E08 to E13, diabetes mellitus. Note the number in brackets beside each term. That's the total number of patients under that particular branch. After locating the term, simply drag and drop the term into one of the group boxes. Note how the box in Group 1 turned green and the text changed to one or more of these. An important consideration here is that ICD-10 codes replaced ICD-9 codes in October 2015. To query all diagnoses available in the OneFlorida Data Trust regardless of date, we will need to include ICD-9 codes as well as ICD-10 codes. To do this, we expand the term tree to find the ICD-9 code for the disease. ICD-9-CM, 250, diabetes mellitus. Notice that when we add multiple criteria in the same group, it returns patients that meet any condition in our cohort. When we use 2 or more groups, we will only get the cohort of patients that meet conditions in all groups. We will show you how to use multiple groups when discussing more advanced queries in the next video. Now we have our first query with 2 inclusion criteria in the same group. Click the button Run Query to submit. Here we will see this pop-up window. First, let's name this query in a way that is easy to remember and that can help our specialists identify which query to look at if you have problems. In this example, we will name the first search Diabetes Mellitus V1, where V1 stands for version 1 of the query. Here we can also select different options to report our data. For now, we'll request only total counts. Click OK to run. While the query runs, note the messages that appear in the Query Status tab in the lower right panel. If the query runs for longer than a minute, it will be queued and will run in the background. To check the query status, go to the Previous Queries panel and click the Refresh button. Our query should appear at the top of the list. Expand the query folder tree. We will see one item per result requested with the status running, finished, or error. When the running query is finished, we will see only one item since we only requested total counts. If the status says running, please wait until it completes. If the status says error, review your query and try to run it again or request support by email. If the status says finished, the query is complete. To display the results from a queued query, we need to drag the saved query from the previous query panel and drop it into the query name box. Now let's take a look at the results of this query. The Show Query Status tab displays the elapsed time to complete the query and the total patient count. Note that the total counts are not exact. To protect patient privacy, results are obfuscated within an error of plus or minus 3. The Graph Results tab displays histograms for each of the selected breakdowns. We only see the number of patients here because we only requested total counts. The Query Report tab displays the details of the query terms used plus the query results. We can print the report from here. Finally, let's save our query into the user workplace. Let's create a new folder by right-clicking on the Workplace user tree and then selecting New Folder. I will use i2b2 tutorials as the folder name, then locate the query in the Previous Queries panel and drag and drop it into the new folder. Now we have finished the demonstration of how to query a diabetes mellitus cohort. In this video, we showed you the functions of the 5 panels in the i2b2 search and analysis screen and demonstrated how to set up and run a basic query. In the next video, you will learn how to conduct advanced searches. If you have questions or need assistance, please contact the OneFlorida i2b2 support team. Thank you.